Hey everybody, how are you doing today? My name is Greg Bakken, and I have with me Miss Christie Ayers. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. We just got done actually being over on Greg Cossa's show, doing an Estes session. Well, I wasn't, you were, and that was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it was.
Tonight we are gonna. There's a couple things we want to talk about. First off, a couple things. There's been a lot of people reaching out to me wondering when the next installment of Paranormal Reveal is going to be on. We did the first one with Shar talking about the Valiska Axe Murder House. The next one is going to be with our friend Keith. And we're just, he has a lot going on, and I just wanted to be very cognizant of his time. So we're just going to make sure that that is as good as possible. And I expect that we'll probably do it sometime in June. That would be my expectation. So, yeah, you agree. Good. I'm
Yes,
happy to
I
hear that.
agree.
Are you still there?
Yep, I'm
Um,
here.
also, first thing off too, we just want to talk about tonight. Please like, share, and follow this. And also, we're talking. What are we talking about? Liking and sharing the video, or
Okay, so we want you to like Free Spirited page, um, and follow Free Spirited page, and then also share out this video. If you do that, you'll qualify to win either. We're going to do a drawing, so you'll either win a ticket to the overnight event at McIntyre Villa, which is on July 8th, or you could win one of two $15 gift cards to Charvinity. So we'll pick three winners. So all you have to do is like, share, follow. If you share this right away, we'd appreciate it. We're trying to get as many people to view this as possible. And so if you help us with that, you could win something. So why not?
and if you can give me one quick second, what I meant to do, and I hadn't had a chance to do, so I'm going to do it right now, is just add for those of you who are like, well, how do we get to Free Spirited? This is where it's at in, and I'm going to add this also to the comments. So you could just go and click on the comments to get to it, to Free Spirited Paranormal. As it shows up now. So please go there and like it. And as Christy says, there are the two $15 gift certificates to Charvinity, or also a free ticket to our event at the McIntyre Villa, which we're going to be talking about that too shortly. So please do that. And Christy and Lisa's all about got you shared and liked and already follow you. So thank you very much. And thank you for all of you that will do that for us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We just want to, as Christy says, we just want to make sure that we get some folks who are interested in what we're doing on our page. So we're very grateful for that. Tonight we're going to be talking about a couple things here. One is our investigation over at the Ohio State Reformatory that
Yeah.
also happened during Parapsychon. We're also going to be talking about some of the cool equipment that Christy has been using, and we used some of it during that investigation. We've been using it during a lot of investigations, but Christy has some really cool stuff that she wants to share. And then we'll be talking about some events as well, and talk more about the giveaway. So, and a number of you are saying that you've done so, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. It is really really great. So let's start. We did about 2 weeks ago now. It seems
Not
longer.
No, it seems like not as long.
I,
It has been 2
it'll
weeks.
be two. I think it'll be 2 weeks this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a week and a half.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna play the game tonight of being as pinpoint accurate with the days as possible. 1 week, 4 days, and 15 hours ago, we were at
What
the.
about your seconds? Where's your seconds?
I'll tell you where my seconds are. So we drove out to the Ohio State Reformatory, and I would like you to explain why we're there, because it's your deal, and it
Yeah.
was really cool.
So one thing that I'm a part of is Devil Vision Media. It's myself, my friends Joseph Warner, Ryan O'Shea, Jane and Anthony, um, and so feel like I'm missing somebody. I probably am. But we were Devil Vision Media, and so basically, we go out and we do live productions. We do more than just paranormal stuff. Especially Joe and Jaden, they're always out doing something. And so hopefully within the next year, we're actually going to be doing a lot more. And every year we get invited to the Parapsychon. So we do. Jaden and Joe usually make the commercial for them, and they do a lot of help promoting and things. And so, what happens when we're at the convention is so upstairs at the Ohio State Reformatory, there's this big convention going on, but then we get exclusive access to the basement. And so, we'll be downstairs in the basement doing a live investigation, and then upstairs, and it's also live streaming across all our platforms and whatever. But the people at the convention actually get to watch the live investigation happening down in the basement. And I love doing it. This is the second year doing it. I'm sure we'll do it again next year. But we get to, see and do and be in a lot of areas there that not everybody does. One of the areas is the solitary confinement. So, but I saw quite a bit this year was just amazing, just being there and walking around and just everything. So a lot of fun.
One of the things that I'm going to do, because we normally run stuff on Wednesdays because it's saved for stuff like this, Wednesday night, saved for stuff like this, or reruns of my radio show. I'm going to rerun that walkthrough we did of maybe next weekend. I'll run that again for Ohio State Reformatory, because the thing is, as Christie alluded to, we didn't realize that so much of it was open when we were walking through it. And that was really surprising because we just kept seeing people walking around different places. And we're just like, well, if they're not going to stop us, let's go walk through here and just see what happens. And you were going through places that you've never been before, and you've been there a number of times.
Yeah. And I don't know if because last year was so busy and it was so full and there was so much going on. And like every 5 seconds, I was like, I got to be here. I got to be there. I didn't have as much time, I think, to wander last year. So I don't know if those areas were actually open last year or not. I'm assuming they probably were.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan actually because Ryan goes there more frequently. So he kind of, guided us around and toured us around. And I think cell 13, I'm terrified of heights. And what is like, I want to say it's 4 floors, or is it 5 floors up of just cells, and it's completely caged in. And even with that, I'm like, oh, I can't even look over the edge. And so I want to say we were on the 3rd floor for cell 13.
Yep.
And cell 13 is actually, and there's photos of it on all of our pages here. But cell 13 is where there was a guy that was up for parole. He didn't get paroled. So he went back to his cell and doused himself with some kind of fluid and lit himself on fire and killed himself up in cell 13. So that's one of like the hot spots. I wish
no pun intended. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Why do you have to point that out? You just go over, just keep going. What's wrong with you?
Okay. So yeah, that was and the thing too about all that that I found very, very, harrowing too, is those corridors where those cells are, they're not very large, they're not very wide, and of course everybody's going a different direction, so you had to find a way to allow other people to pass you, which was you have to go into a cell, and if you don't want to do that, then you're out of luck. Jan asks, did you feel as if you got a better experience of energy this time, not as much clutter and a better picture since more was open to you and it was quieter?
I definitely think that I appreciated it a lot more, and one thing that kind of stands out is I was walking by and I had said something. I was like, wow, I could never imagine actually having to live here, just thinking about being locked in one of those cells. And some girl was like, I'd live here. And I was like, yeah, not if you were locked in that tiny cell with 4 people, you wouldn't, and would I just live in it? yeah, if I had the whole thing and I wasn't locked in a cell, that'd be awesome. But it really kind of hit me like one thing I don't think I'd ever be able to handle is prison, jail. There's
Mm-mm.
just no way, And then I started thinking, when you look at it, it's so old and so rusted and falling apart, and you start wondering like, how does that happen? And then we got rained on inside, so that kind of answered that question.
It was the first paranormal convention that I was inside and got rained on. I have to admit that was a new one for me. So, hey, whatever, right?
Yeah,
Um,
we were
but
walking through puddles.
right, no, absolutely, literally, they couldn't keep up with keeping the, just sweeping the water, trying to get it away, trying to get it into the drains, trying to get it away from the drains. We had a number of severe storms that day. It was a lot actually, and that was really interesting. That was really cool. Of course, for the people who were selling those lights that changed color, if a spirit got near it, um, they had a booth or they had a table, and you guys understand. I mean, some of you had seen our pictures of the cell blocks that went up, 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 and there was a corridor where people walked on the main level. That's where the tables were set up. Some of the tables were set up, some were set up other places, but these poor people are getting rained on with all their lights plugged in and stuff and all the electricity. And we're like, are you sure this is a wise idea for you to keep these plugged in? And they thought it was. So, I mean, we just moved along swiftly to avoid electrocution, but whatever. That's how it goes.
Pretty much.
So, and there's a lot to talk about, but the basement, there's a couple. We were down there for we went down 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and took part of the live. I'm very grateful. I just want to say publicly, I'm very grateful for that opportunity, because that is not something that I was, I didn't, and it wasn't expected for me to be a part of. So I greatly appreciate it. And I would also ask everyone to go like the Devil Vision media page that I have up on Facebook right now, if you wouldn't mind. I know we're throwing a lot of stuff out there for people to like, but we're always trying to support those who have been really kind to us and who also need support, as well, because it just helps everybody. But we're down there the first day. What was it like for you down in that basement?
So the first day, I mean, so last year I was down there by myself probably for hours,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no issue. But for whatever reason, this last time, just this standing in that one spot, there was just one spot down there that just was creating such anxiety, and it was very uncomfortable. I would move out of that spot and I would be okay. I think I had you stand there too, and I think you kind of felt the same thing.
Yeah.
And so then it was almost as if while I was down there, something was just kind of breathing down my neck the whole time. At one point, I had moved and I was standing somewhere else, and I felt like I got a little burn on the back of my, almost like someone poked me with something, hot. But it didn't leave a mark. I didn't think it would, because it was so quick and I kind of moved. But that was something I never actually. It's not really something that I, um, had ever experienced before. And so it kind of just took me aback a little bit. So, was, yes. There were, I'm glad that you actually went back and looked, Joe. There's Joe right now. He's like he's our head honcho there. So he runs Devil Vision. He's just amazing at everything he does. So,
And I do want to just once again publicly thank, now that knowing that you're on here, Joe, thank you for everything that weekend, and thank you for including me. I really appreciated and had such a great time with all of you. So thank you very much with that. And there is stuff that we can talk about with that box as well. One quick thing, real fast. Where was I here? Jill asks, will you be showing any pics of the tour there, like the Cell 13? I did not have a chance, unfortunately, to get pictures going today, but they are, first of all, there is a ton of them on your profile page, right?
yes. Yep. They're also on Devil Vision.
They're on Devil Vision, okay?
Yes. And I actually posted a link tree on my page. So if you go and look for the big thing that says link tree, if you click on it, it'll give you links to everything: Instagram, TikTok, all the Facebook pages that I have, everything. And so you can go look at those photos. Devil Vision, if you want to follow, you can follow them on Instagram, whatever. So I think we have Instagram and Twitter. And then I have a TikTok. I mean, it's all up there. There's even photos, I think, from last year that are still pretty easily accessible. So amazing place, absolutely amazing. So
it's amazing how it doesn't end either. You know, when you're walking through, excuse me, and it's hard to see, like it's easy to get confused in that place because there's so much more than just cell blocks. And when we started it, especially when we got to the chapel and then we went through that door and started to go down to like the some of the where the warden would be and stuff, that place got really really interesting. And Renee asks, favorite part of the reformatory. I'm going to quickly say some of those living quarters I thought were beautiful. I thought some of that stuff in that chapel was kind of taken apart, but by the time like there was pictures of what it looked like, what it used to look like, and that was pretty incredible actually. And then also one more thing before I hand that over to you, Christy, you know, obviously just the cell blocks, just the absolutely the scope and the scale of it was just, I mean, it's breathtaking. And I think this is one of those places that really the pictures do show it. There's that picture that you took on the stairwell looking down, and Ryan is at the bottom of that little stairwell, which is still about 3-4 stories up. And then you can see beyond that. And the breadth of that place is utterly stunning. And like you said, it's like he just looks so small in the picture because it's just so far away.
You should put Joe's comment up there really quick, and then I'll tell you what my favorite part is, because I probably have the weirdest. And he's not talking about you, Greg. He's talking about it. I think, I don't know how to. It's Fetek. I don't know how to say his last name, but his team actually runs most of the paranormal stuff down there at OSR. So pretty cool.
And also when he asks, do you guys know why they have signs everywhere? No, but we know what it's like to be locked in to the basement.
Close, I know. Yeah, we know what it's like to be locked in the basement. That was always fun. So why don't they close the cell?
Where are you?
I was looking to see if he would write it down. The key is in the capital. Oh, weird. So you can't close the cells because they'll lock.
Oh, so someone has to go and get the key.
Crazy.
Yeah, that adds an extra layer of no way.
That adds an extra layer of, somebody should have told me before, because I probably would have accidentally locked myself in one or something.
Well, apparently Ryan closed. I'm probably not as much as Ryan, I would say.
That does not surprise me one bit.
Do you know if anyone's done this before?
They may have.
I mean, that's a cool idea.
I'll tell you my favorite part, and like, everyone's probably going to think this is so ridiculous, but I'm such a fan of the movie Shawshank Redemption. And so the room where Red actually goes when he gets out, and it says, "So was Red." That is, and I had it as my cover photo, but that room is like an iconic part of the movie. And so that was like my favorite thing, was to see that, which sounds so strange. But I love the movie. But aside from that, there was the one room, I want to say it was all the way on the top, right before we went to the chapel. There was it was like an intake room or something. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
There was like a registration room or something. For some reason, that room was just, I don't know. I could have just stayed in there all day. Just loved it. So
that's right. I remember that you love that room. And Joe brings up a very good point that I forgot about. That there is a jail, an active jail behind the reformatory, and the rule is you can't photograph it. Don't even look at it. Just don't even look that direction, and you just have to be super careful. And like when we did the live, that walkthrough, suddenly it's like, whoa, we got to make sure we're not pointing the phone this direction, because you just, even just a glimpse, you just don't want to even do it. So that's right.
Mm-hmm. So I
So
kind of forgot about that too at first, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't be
yeah.
waving the camera around. So
Yeah, because I mean, some of like that. I think part of that area that you really like, that's where I was just like, oh, that's right.
mhm.
That's right. That's right there. So yeah, all that
Had
stuff.
to
I
edit
mean,
out.
yeah, you just got to be really careful, really careful. Luckily I wasn't detained or anything.
Lucky for
That's
who?
what's that?
Nothing. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Whoops. Anyway, so it's all right, right? She just
Oh
uh,
my God, that's
did I
hilarious.
really just do that?
Did I do that?
So the basement, day one, that was we got Megan came down there as well, and then she set up those lights that they were like hanging lights. They were really cool, and the purpose of them, if something gets near them, like person or spirit, they change color, and they change to a multitude of colors, and that was a really cool. Do you remember what those were called?
I don't remember what they were called. Good night, Joe. Sleep tight. Don't get in any fights at work.
That's a long name for those lights.
Yeah,
um
that's what they're called.
They're called Good Night Joe, Sleep Tight, Don't Get Any to
Don't
Work
get any
Fights.
fights
Okay.
at work.
I don't think they're going to sell as well with a name like that, but
I mean, they might.
they might.
The Joseph Warner fight lights. You never know.
You got to talk about this.
What is it? Was your dolls a part of the trip at all? Yes. Charlie goes. Charlie's been requested pretty much to go with me everywhere. I'm gonna tell you, before I even had made it down to down to our table and our setup. I get down there and Ryan's just like, I've had a couple people stop by and ask if Charlie's going to be here. So um, I was just like, that's pretty crazy. So he actually has his own screen and he has his own setup.
Hmm.
And this was the first time we had Ezerina there. And so she just kind of added to it. And there were just some crazy things that came from people coming by and people stopping and taking photos. And some guy came by and said, I don't want to get it. He wouldn't even look at Charlie. And he was like, let me tell you what, last year I took a photo with me and Charlie and all these crazy things started happening in my house. And I just deleted that photo. He's like, I want nothing to do with it. And I'm like, well, get away from my table then.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of, I had some lady come by and I think she, for 20 minutes, just was
She
holding
did.
Ezerina and like crying or something. I don't know.
She
And
just,
then she was like, her name is Elizabeth. And I'm like, actually, it's Ezerina.
yeah, I mean, and that's par for the course at these things. And I hope you're not watching, if, if we're talking about you, but it's strange when, like, I saw it too. She just stood there with her hands on the doll's head with her eyes closed. And it's like, okay, well, I hope you get what you need to out of it, but that's how these things work. And then they always come up with their own stories
Yeah.
of what happens.
The weirdest thing though was when this guy came over to me and he's like, your doll is in my house. I'm like, no, it's not. It's right there. And then he shows me a picture and I'm like, I'm still confused. Like, why are you showing me a picture of my doll? And then I was like, and what's that background? And I realized he had the same doll that I did. And he was just like amazed. He's like, where did you get it? I'm like, don't
Oh
worry
yeah, I
about it.
remember that. Yeah.
So yeah.
And also, we left your car at Jeremy York's house. We got to visit Jeremy York, and Jeremy also has a doll, Lucy.
Lucy.
And so everyone was able to have a play date. And I mean, as a grown man, I never thought that this would be a thing, but here we are, where they all had to sit together
I
and
did a
talk.
photo shoot.
And and no, this isn't. Well, it is the same
It's
doll,
the
but yeah,
same
it's the same
doll.
doll.
Hmm. And I can tell you right now that doll just all of a sudden showed up recently, ever since I've been taking Ezerina around. And so I'm like, is somebody just trying to bite off of what I'm doing here or whatever? Because I've never claimed she's haunted. I don't know if she's haunted. I don't think she's haunted. I just she's just different, and I really like different things, and so I just liked her, which was the same reason that I bought Charlie, because I love the very uniqueness of the Charlie McCarthy dolls. I've
Mhm.
always loved them. Charlie, I never expected for Tyler Evans to be like, that doll's messed up. Um, Tyler doesn't even ever want to see it again. I accidentally ran into Tyler um, at Beatty Mansion. He just showed up and I was there and we got to talking about Charlie. And he's like, there's something really wrong with that doll. He's like, I don't ever want to see it again. And so we were talking about, and then of course, Heather Taddy, who was on the episode with Charlie, um, she was at OSR too. And so
Mhm.
I just walked over there. So she did a whole photo shoot with Charlie. She was so excited she got to hold him, and what she just loves Charlie. So that was kind of fun. That was pretty fun. So I
Yeah,
think it
that
made
was
her
cool.
day.
That was
She
really
came
cool.
she came over to the booth before she left and she was like, I got to see him one more time. I'm like, okay. So we weren't even there, but I want to say Joe and Ryan were, so she came to say hello to everybody. So that was really sweet of her.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as Jill says, if Linus approves, it's okay, which he did approve of Charlie.
A little too much.
Yeah, they seem to have a thing.
they,
I don't
they hit
know.
it off. Yeah, they hit it off. It was definitely weird. Very,
Yeah.
very weird.
Well, that sums up
So,
Linus.
yeah.
So, what we have down on the screen is the real haunted Charlie. Charlie has his own Facebook page, and
Mhm.
go there. Just go and like everything on Facebook, but go there and like this page as well, please. Or if you want to see what's going on with Charlie, um, and we did a spirit box session with Charlie here some
Mhm.
time ago, and I know that Tyler is just like, oh, I don't want to see. I got nothing like that from our reaching out to Charlie. I think we got something, but nothing felt bad or nasty at all. Not
No,
even close.
no.
And I don't think Heather thought that either, did she?
No, she didn't. It's just funny because I people just always get different whatever. I'm just like, well, maybe he just doesn't like certain people. Like, can you blame him?
Hmm.
Um, However, a lot of people have been asking for T-shirts with Charlie on it that say "I like death," so I'm considering doing it. I think they would definitely sell every year at OSR. So,
Right.
um,
Right.
but I don't know. He's in the next room. I bought him a nice little case and everything, so he's over there probably like, get me out of here. But that's okay.
He was happy. Did you start
Sure.
making him that sweater that you told him make for Now that's not Charlie though.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
was Charlie.
that's what's his name?
Jack. I think that's Jack. That's the one everybody calls Jack down there. It's
Yeah.
actually really funny because, I mean, if you know me, if you follow me at all, you know that Stephanie and I are best friends. And so Stephanie had a Charlie. We didn't even know that each other had one, and we both bought one. So hers is actually smaller than mine. And then for some reason, people started thinking she stole Charlie from me. And we're like, no, we have our own.
But
So
and what Brad was alluding to was at the McIntyre Villa live stream we did, Living Paranormal. If we wanted Jack to talk and threatened that we're going to make him take off his tuxedo and make him a sweater with no pants, and see if that would help him loosen his tongue a little bit, because who would want to wear that? I mean, that, quite frankly. And I don't remember what we said it was going to say on the sweater, but yeah. So yeah, so once again, downstairs, why don't we move to the second day downstairs?
okay,
Because to
yeah.
me, unless there's more that you want to bring up about the first, because I thought the second was really interesting, and it ties into a piece of equipment that you're going to be talking with us tonight about, because we did some spirit box both days with an SB7. We used an SB7T, and we were getting some stuff. It was fine. Nothing that would blow us away. And I was really thinking to myself personally, it's like, yeah, we're getting the vibes, but like the equipment really wasn't going off, except for, was it the U-Pod? Um,
Yes. Mhm.
and then but some of the other stuff wasn't really going off, and we weren't getting the, everyone was telling us, "Ooh, it's creepy downstairs. It's this, it's that," and I wasn't really feeling that. And then Ryan came down the second day, and he's like,
And it was
"Oh."
creepy because Ryan was down there.
Well, Ryan, who is like Spider-Man and doesn't really make a sound. All of a sudden, we're doing something, and it's like, "Where's Ryan? Ryan's not there." And then we're doing something, and it's like Ryan's in front of you suddenly. It's like, Ryan, dude.
He's
Um,
amazing, isn't he?
yeah, it was
I
fun.
love him.
But
He's
he came
very
down before we
cool.
started the one on Sunday. It's like, "Oh, by the way, there's this thing that people talk about called spider monkey, that crawls around on the ceiling and stuff." And I didn't see spider monkey. Maybe you saw spider monkey.
No.
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 But we did we did a spirit box session, and we took out the box that Christie has there. It's made by Katie Stafford. What's the name of that one again? I always forget.
Kind of too. You know what? I don't know what he calls it. It's he's Paranormal Inc.
Yep.
So I think they're just the ink boxes, but I don't know if he has them named separately. This is a mini one. Joe actually has one that's bigger than this. He has the big one. I have the mini one. And I actually loved his so much. So when actually Austin Maynard was like, "Hey, do you want this box?" And I was like, "Yeah." I think he was actually more excited for me to get it than I was to get it, which was awesome. But at first I wasn't so sure about it. There, and I talked to, I said, there's a couple things that I would like a little different. And so he did make some new ones that have those things. So eventually I'll get one. It works great. He knows what he's doing. I love talking to Katie and picking his brain because he just has these crazy ideas. Actually, I have a video of him. He's building something where he wears this thing on his head, and it connects to the box, and like your brain waves. He's trying to make it so your brain waves actually control the box, so you can slow it down, turn the volume up and down, whatever, just by thinking about it or concentrating. I saw it work a little bit, but he's like, I just started kind of, working with it or whatever. So I actually took a video of that, and he kind of talks about it, whatever. It's a very cool thing.
Mhm.
So some of the stuff they come up with are, it was actually Austin. Anytime someone messes with like brain waves, it's cool, but it also creeps me out because Austin was the one who, the God helmet, he has one. And so that was the first, and I'm telling you that God helmet, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Not at all. And there's a video of that too, of course, because why wouldn't there be?
Right.
Me freaking
Right.
out.
No, absolutely. We were using it. We weren't getting a lot. One of the things that I thought of at the moment, just because you're kind of thinking about what is it like in prison, and I have no idea, but I thought about the fact that there might be a hierarchy at a prison, but I was thinking more of like amongst the inmates. Like, is there someone down here controlling who uh who is going to talk? Because we didn't seem like we're getting a whole lot. But then when you got it, and I'm like, is there someone here that, can we talk to whoever's in charge? We started to get a woman coming through, right?
Yes, very consistently. And we asked, like, is this a warden? And it said no. And then I think we were asking questions like, are we not allowed to talk to the warden? She's like, yes. And then it was like, are you like speaking for him? She says, yes. So basically, it almost seemed like we came to the conclusion that this was almost like the secretary,
Mm-hmm.
and the warden is busy controlling everything. So even after the fact that, the prison isn't used anymore, and, the spirits, there's still that same hierarchy of there's still the warden there. He's still keeping the spirits under check. They're still not allowed to hurt people. They're still not allowed to do this and that and whatever. So it's kind of like, it almost made you think that the prison is still up and running on the
Yeah,
other side.
absolutely. And the thing that I think what really made us realize what was going on, because we did ask who's in charge here, and that same woman said the warden
Yeah.
through the box.
Yeah.
And the thing was, like Christy said, it's that woman's voice. And how long were we talking to her for? At least 10 minutes, wouldn't it have been?
I feel like it was longer than
Like
that.
15 at least, or
I think it's 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, we were down there for that time. We were down there for I don't know, like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yep. About an hour and a
Time
half.
went so time just when you're down there, it's like you just don't even realize
Because
how fast time goes. I mean, you could be down there for 5 hours and think you're down there for 15 minutes.
yeah, I think the whole weekend we were down there for about 3 to 4 hours,
Yeah,
something like that.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I mean, part of it's because we were locked down there. But and honestly, I mean, yes, the mini ink box, which now that I've seen you use that a number of times, and I was really I just love it. I think I'm going to have to get one of those. I really am, because that is, we've used, I mean, in the time that we've investigated together, and I know you've been using it before that, it's just every single time there seems to be good stuff coming out of it. It's been really fun to see how that works and how the type of responses that we get from it. We didn't get her. I mean, we didn't get her name. I don't recall.
We didn't. We never did. Do you know the one thing that I told him, and I'm pretty sure that he made him now? There were two things about this box that I like would have rather had. One being having a way to plug in an external speaker so it could be
Hmm.
louder. Although it is pretty loud on its own, but I would still like the external speaker. And
Yeah.
the other one was, if I wanted to add like a delay or something to it, or a noise reduction, a noise gate,
Yeah.
that would have been nice. So I think he has some of those now. I'm pretty sure that he does. So I'm looking into buying one. But the one thing I do appreciate about these is they all have lights on them. So they have little flashlights on the end. Because let's face it, we live in the dark.
We
So
do. We
yeah.
do.
Hmm.
Some more than the others, but yeah, I think that that is a pretty cool box. Now, what else do you have that we should be taking a look at tonight?
Well, I know because I think Brad's watching and he's made us some stuff too.
Yep.
I actually have the vibration detector, and then I think I have I have one of my boxes, so the other box will be here shortly. But he's Crack Skull Paranormal. We haven't really had a chance to use this yet, so I'm hoping soon that I will. I know I have a bunch of stuff coming up, so hopefully I'll have a chance to use this. So when I do, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And we did use the yes no boxes at OSR too.
Hmm.
We didn't really get any responses from them that day, but I mean, they pick and choose what they want to use. So we tried moving around. Maybe they'll go off here. I do think there was like one or two times where the chair, because we had the yes no boxes on there, we had the bell meter on there, we had the ball, and there were like two times where like just the whole chair lit up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
So
on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, that we were
yeah.
getting some
Mhm.
really interesting stuff Sunday, like and it came in spurts. But yeah, I mean, for those who are watching, the purpose of this box, and there's two of them, and I know he's making one that has both of them in like together. But the idea is that spirit will answer us how we want, by one being yes, the other being no. And the yes is green. The box that I have that Brad sent me, the lights light up in red for no, and it's really fun. And this worked really well for us at the McIntyre Villa. These boxes in the doll room or the kids' room, right?
Yes. So
That
we
was
definitely had some responses there. I really like them. Like they're just, it's something that I've actually wanted for quite some time. So I'm super thankful for those. So you can definitely check them out, or ask Brad. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to get some for you. So um, found out that stuff was weird. I already knew that. That's why she's my best friend. I can't be best friends with somebody who isn't weird. That would just be all weird, all the same. So that's all I know.
you only came to the conclusion that Steph was weird.
Well, that's why I have to be best friends with her,
Yeah.
because it takes one to know one.
Yeah. Kind of.
Um,
Yeah.
let's moving on. So Jesse Stewart actually made this one for me. So this is, and he has these on. It's what is his website?
It's D's Ghosts.
These ghosts. So this is on there now. This is the Wicked Carousel Realm. I don't know if he'll do this for everybody, but he let me customize mine. So I like blue and white. So that's my REM colors is the blue and white. And then it has a motion sensor if it'll go off. But it plays creepy music when it does. I'm I'm wondering if the batteries. I'm always waiting for the battery to be dead in this one, and I think it finally might be. So these are so awesome. I have one like this. There it goes. um, so that's it plays creepy music. And then I have another one that's just a REM pod. However, I like this one a lot better. So this one was custom done for me. And so it's super cool. And I love it. It's almost like a trigger object. Um, I've had it go off at the villa quite a bit. And it took a while. Actually, the first time that thing ever went off, Greg and I were driving down some really random, crazy dirt road. He's thinking he's going to die because we're in the middle
Yeah,
of nowhere.
it was
The next
actually,
thing you
yes.
know, that song starts playing, and we're just like, "Oh, what's going on?"
This was a back road that the maps or whatever had told Christie to go down after getting some gas. And these things, it was like a roller coaster, first of all, and it had like drop offs, and the roads were still icy. And obviously Christie did a very good job driving us around, but still, it was like then when that thing started to go off, it's like, what on earth is going on? Jill has a question for you. Just a side question, Christie. Have you thought of adding a REM pod trigger or light to your dolls to see if anyone touches them to attract other spirits?
Well, I mean, I always have a REM pod. Charlie usually has a REM pod. He has a history of making them go off. I have videos of him making them go off. Even when he was in the glass case, if you ignored him long enough, if you left a REM pod by him, it would
Mm-hmm.
go off. So he definitely has a history of setting them off. I think he likes the light show or just messing with my head. I don't know. He likes people paying attention to him. He's very needy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as like adding anything to them permanently, that won't happen. I will never modify or do anything to change it. I just want them to stay just the way they are. So that I won't do. But he can have the REM pod. Sometimes I give him the little light up balls or whatever. But a lot of times I'll leave equipment by him, even EVPs and all that stuff. So
And because he talks and he communicates, he doesn't get a sweater.
I'm sure he'll be so disappointed.
That's exactly well, that's what I mean. He doesn't need to be punished because he gives back to the paranormal community. Jack didn't that night. He gets a sweater. You don't want a sweater, is what I'm trying to say
You
here.
don't want you don't want a sweater. You
you,
really don't want a sweater.
you
Not
don't want a sweater. If you got a sweater, you're not wearing pants, only wearing a sweater. That means
so
you failed in the paranormal.
you
Okay,
failed
because it's
miserably.
not a good thing.
You failed
So
miserably. That's so
exactly, Brad. He's not going to be pantsless.
he's,
Charlie can keep his pants. So
Charlie wears the pants in this family. So
absolutely,
right.
absolutely. So and the thing also, because you reached out to Jesse to make those changes, he turned it around like in a day, didn't he?
Oh, I had it within a week. Like it was in my hand within
Yeah.
a week. I was just blown away. And that's the thing. I'm not really one to call people out, but the initial carousel that I got, one, it was the wrong thing. It was something I didn't order. I had paid for it, and then it took 6 months to get it. And that was with a lot of pressure and a lot of, hey, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? Asking for a refund. They didn't want to give a refund and kept saying, you'll get it, you'll get it, you'll get it. So then I did get it, and the craftsmanship is not that great. I was very disappointed, one, because it wasn't what I ordered, and two, because it just isn't put together very well. But it wasn't just me. There was like 8 of us that had all ordered stuff, like personal friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few months down the road, there was somebody calling them out on Facebook, and it was personal. We're talking hundreds of people that were just basically screwed over. I'm one of the lucky ones. I actually got something. So um, I would love one of those for Charlie. That would be awesome. Then he can use his own little REM pod. That would be so cute.
Charlie-sized REM pod.
Yes, the Charlie pod. Oh, he's such a celeb. My gosh. Actually, you got to admit, Greg, it was hilarious watching like all these people coming over the table and just, oh my God. And people just recognized him from Portals to Hell and they would stop and take pictures. And it was just so funny. I was like, he's the most famous person in this place.
That's because Charlie is real parafamous.
he's
So
he's the real pair.
he's real parafamous, and that's good stuff right there.
No, it isn't, and I've seen them. They're very, very cool. So, Brad, you've always got a lot of cool stuff going on. The skull wrens are amazing.
Yeah, those are
Every
cool.
time you show me something, I'm just like, it's so creative. I just love watching you come up with new ideas and stuff like that. Like I feel
Hmm.
like your brain goes a lot faster than the rest of you can keep up. So keep doing it because it's pretty amazing.
So, do you have any other equipment?
The only other thing I have is so this is not a DR60. However, Stephanie has one, which I think they're great. This one is the model right after it, and I think it does pretty well. I mean, the feature that I like about this the most is that it is voice activated and it doesn't really pick up a lot of that outside noise. So it's really good. But a lot of times I will use, I'll actually just use the recorder on my phone, which I've found to be one of my favorite pieces of equipment, is the memo recorder on my cell phone for EVPs. It works really well in real time to go back and use it and whatever. But EVPs are one of my favorite things. So
Yeah, yeah. I've been using a couple small Sonys, which I like. Also, I have a Zoom that I like my Zoom. I think it works really well. But also, I didn't bring it over. Maybe next time I'll bring it over. Is my big reel-to-reel tape machine and recorder, because there is that question, right, of do you get better EVPs through analog tape than digital? And you see on both sides that there's people who are adamant one way or another. And you have a tape recorder. I have a couple of my reel-to-reel tapes, and I also have one of those mini cassettes as well. That it's tough though with the analog, because you don't know how often you're going to be able to get new tapes. And also, you had a problem with your tape recorder, right?
yeah, so I realized. So here I was at where was I? The Haunted Hillview, I think it was. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember where I was. And so I was just by myself, and I was using the regular cassette tape recorder, and I realized that when you turn it over and record, that when you play it back, and the times when you're not talking, what you're actually hearing is side A bleeding through to side B. So you literally hear it going backwards. So it's like, okay,
Hmm.
well, this doesn't work. So the only solution that I have for that is only using one side of the cassette. Once
Yeah.
you use both sides to record, you you basically destroyed anything you might have actually had. Um, I don't. The funny thing to me though is when I think back, like I don't remember it being like that when I was a kid. So I don't know if it's just because it's cheap, if the tapes are cheap, or maybe it was like that. And I just don't remember.
I personally think it's because of the cheapness, to be honest. But who knows? I mean, but I think maybe it is ultimately a good idea not to, with any of them, to do more than one side. And then of course you can't like erase it and then use it again. I mean, pretty much it's one and done, because you're going to run into the same issue, the possibility of that issue of still bleeding through,
Hmm.
at least as far as I'm concerned. And you also, you gotta, it's just all sorts of things with that as well. So why don't we have about 9 minutes left. Why don't we talk a little bit about stuff that we have coming up, and folks can about some events and some other lives and stuff like that. I just want to quickly start by saying that this Saturday we're doing a Living Paranormal. It's going to be Shar and myself this time at the Grant House, as we did last time, which would have been in March. We had a group of investigators who took our classes, and we're letting them out to investigate. They're extremely talented. They're intuitive. They're investigators. Please check us out on all of our networks that I'm on. That's June 4th, this Saturday at 9 p.m. So please check that out. And then we got a lot of stuff coming up. You got a lot of stuff coming up. Why don't you fill us in?
So I don't have the cool banners, but if you follow me, you can see all that. So the first thing coming up is June 25th. Well, I guess this weekend is the big sale at McIntyre Villa. So it's a citywide garage sale. So I'll just be down there. Stephanie's also going to be giving tours that day. So if you want to come out there for a tour just to see what she's selling, I promise if you like pink, you'll find something. So I will be out there this weekend. I might actually need to look at my calendar to see what I all got going on. So then after that, I know June 25th is, so my friend Jenna. So if anybody's heard of Malvern Manor, Jenna's dad is part owner of Malvern. And so Jenna has been a good friend to a lot of people, very sweet girl. And if you saw my video earlier this week, I was one of the lucky ones where I was tested for cancer and it came back negative. So I'm okay, but Jenna unfortunately did not. So she's getting treatment now, but obviously that stuff costs a lot of money. And so the Squirrel Cage Jail, I just posted that today. There is a benefit on June 25th. It's $15 for a tour, or I want to say we did $100 for an overnight ticket. It's either 100 or 120, where you can come and stay overnight that night. And I'll be there. Kat Slaughter will be there. She's the manager. And then our friend Ashley, who Ashley's really good friends with Jenna. So that whole thing is just to benefit her. Let's see what else I got going on.
And one quick question.
Yeah.
If someone wants to just donate money, but they're not able to go to the event, is that a possibility at all?
Yeah, if they want to do that, actually just message me. I'll send you the link tree. My PayPal is on there, and you can donate to her. You just put Jenna on it, for Jenna or whatever, and I'll know. I mean, everything that's meant for her will go to her. I mean, there's no question there. So there's that. Let's see what else I have coming up. I think you're going to be there, but Tula, Utah, August 13th. Myself and Richard Estep. If you know who Richard Estep is, he's wrote quite a few books. He is one of the people who created Haunted Hospitals. He did a couple. I think he has like 2 other shows. I'm not really sure, but him and I are doing a event in Tula, Utah. All the proceeds from that event are going to go to the local animal shelter. It's $80 for a ticket, which seems a little bit expensive, but it's for a good cause. We're basically trying to double the amount that this shelter gets a year. They only get $5,000 a year, which is like nothing. So the owner, I let him pick where he wanted. This is where he wanted it to. Kim Anderson, who owns Asylum 49. I always offer the location money. He wouldn't take a dime. He just said, nope, it all goes to the animal shelter. So those tickets are selling fast. And then I found out 2 days ago, somebody made a handmade Ouija board that is going to be auctioned off there again for the animal shelter. And then the other,
and I was just going to say real fast, and those who've ever seen Asylum 49 in any show knows that this place is pretty legit. This place is an active location and one that I think a lot of people would love to get into. And this is a perfect opportunity to do so, as well as really help out a well-deserving charity at the same time.
Yes. And then I should mention November. God, it's not even until November. When it's November, I'm looking at my calendar because I can't remember anything. November 19th. Myself, Stephanie, Richard again, and then Sam Beltrusis are doing an event at McIntyre, and that will have overnight tickets. So you can look that up. And then, of course, Drunken Oracle is on the 11th. So, most important thing is
right.
Drinking.
It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that good though, because I'm not on it this time. So.
You can always come back. You are always welcome back.
But that's the thing, though. I would love to actually, but there's something about doing it in person, right? That makes it. That was really fun about it. It was a great time. It was a great time. So let's see here. There is that. I was going to say something else. Did I cut you off also when I brought that up? Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's the 11th. Sometime in July, apart from the event I'm going to be talking about here in a second, we'll be doing a living paranormal at a location that we'll announce when we're able to announce, but it's going to be really cool. So look forward to that. And then and see, this is the right kind of question. This is accurate. This is right.
I mean, he's always welcome.
I'm just sitting in a room drinking by myself, though. What's new, I guess.
What? No, I meant you're always welcome to come over. You can always make the drive for Drunken Oracle.
No, the reason
Actually,
why
I invited you to that because that's Why More Days. That's
I
like a
know.
whole weekend of fun.
I know I'm supposed to be doing that, working on my my business those days at a seminar. Remember that thing that I'm trying to get off the ground that is like a lead balloon at the moment? Yeah, that's what that is.
So as you can see, as you all hear, it is not my fault. Greg is not going to be a Drunken
I
Oracle.
never said it was your fault.
I'm just
never said that.
No, he needs a compliment. Yes, Greg, you can cook.
And all I'm saying that I was not going to be on it. I thought I'd let people know now so that they can come up with other plans. That's all.
Whatever.
No.
It was fun before you two. Okay.
Oh.
Jeez.
I've never heard that actually, but so
anyway, so let's talk about the event that we're giving a ticket away to.
Yep. Okay. So and that's going to be, there's 2 nights. Well, first of all, the event that we're giving a ticket away to, that's July 8th. I was going to say the wrong date, even though I said the right date before we went on. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Mm-hmm. McIntyre Villa.
Yes.
And that's going to be an amazing time. And there's 2 types of tickets, right?
Yes. So you can come, it's $60 and you can come and stay from, I want to say I started it from 8 until 2 a.m. Or for $100, you can spend the night. So here's the thing, because I think a lot of you who follow, especially the ones you follow Greg, if you're in Minnesota, you can for this event, you can have a whole weekend. So if you buy overnight tickets for the villa, you can stay at the villa. The villa has a shower. And then the next night, if you get a ticket for Hotel Josephine, you can stay there too, and you actually get your own private room with your own shower and everything. So if you come out for a whole weekend, you don't even need to worry about a hotel because you have a place to stay. You have a shower. If you get tickets for both night, we give you a 10% rebate after ticket sale money releases, just because I know gas is expensive. So we wanted to kind of help out there. The thing about Hotel Josephine, and real reason why I wanted to do this, so there's 17 total tickets, one of which sold. So when you look at the website, what you're going to see is 16 available tickets, but they're all rooms. So when you buy a ticket, what you're doing is buying a room, and you pay full price for that room. So for $250, you get a room for up to 4 people. So for 4 people, the total cost is $250. So basically split, like the ticket's basically $50 a person. And so we need to sell out the whole hotel. So we have the whole hotel to ourselves. There'll be nobody else there. It'll be just us investigating. And then of course, everybody has their own private room, which is awesome. So you can see when you look at the tickets, there's rooms for 4 people, there's rooms for 3 people, and there's rooms for 2 people. And so it ranges between 70. I mean, if you want to rent out a whole room yourself, go right ahead. You just pay full price for the room. It's yours. But if I want to say it's I think $150 for the 2 people room. So that's $75 a person. But again, you don't have to worry about a hotel room. And then, the $120. So, I mean, really, it's not a bad deal at all. I mean, I was really kind of surprised. I was really kind of surprised at that. So, and it'll be a lot of fun. Tracer seems to be pretty cool. It was just recently featured on Ghost Hunters. I want to say the 2-person room is 150, and then the 3-person room is 200, and then the 4-person is 250. That's what I think it is. And so there's only 16 rooms left. So yeah, so I mean, it'll be super awesome. And because I know you guys coming from Minnesota, it's probably like 8-hour drive out there, but your whole weekend is covered as far as a place to stay and a shower. There's always good places to eat and food not too far, either from the villa or from Hotel Josephine. And they're not that far apart. I want to say it's like a half an hour drive from the villa to Hotel Josephine. And there's a lot of cool stuff to see in between. I know Steph will probably hate me for this, but Sally House is only a couple blocks away from the villa, and they do day tours. So in between, you can always go tour there as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do to keep you busy. It's a quick, easy weekend away. Um, so yeah,
It
lots of fun.
It really is. And the thing about that, it's just we're just trying to, I mean, this is really in Christie's wheelhouse in terms of locations and whatnot. And I'm also looking to get some of the other locations that I know and have us do events there as well. But this is also supporting these paranormal locations that and I can't speak to Hotel Josephine. I've not seen it. I've heard it's amazing, but as I've said before, the villa, I've this is one of the top places I've ever investigated at because first of all, it's active, it does not disappoint. Secondly, it's beautiful, it's clean, it's comfortable. There is so much that Steph puts into this place that goes untalked about. You just go there and you just see it in terms of just making you feel at home and making you feel like that, this person wants you to have the best experience. So please, please consider checking these, this event out because it's Christie in particular really wanted to make sure that if, we wanted to get people coming down and that what would it take to keep people to stay the whole weekend and make it really worth their time and make it economical, make it so that they don't have to worry about a separate hotel room. This is really cool. And I'm really excited. I felt, it's so exciting that we're having these opportunities. So please do so. Am I missing anything with that?
I will say that I worked for event companies before, and the one thing most of the event companies do is neglect the location. And so when I started getting asked to do events for people and whatever, I've changed that whole outlook. So a good portion, a lot more money than is given from event companies come from from the proceeds, and they do go, I mean, and I think there's this grave misconception that people who own location have a ton of money coming in. I'm going to tell you what, they struggle, and they struggle hard. They do what they do because they love doing it and they enjoy doing it. But a lot of times they're really fighting tooth and nail to keep their place up and running, to keep the lights on, to keep it usable. They really face a lot of hardship and things. And so not only are you, coming for a good time and having fun, but you're doing something amazing for these people who run it. So just always keep that in mind. I mean, these people who own it, I mean, I can't tell you how much stuff I've done for a lot of these locations just to try to help them keep the doors open. And I won't ever stop. So I guess that's my passion right there.
Right.
But definitely, it's worth it. It's worth it that we keep the doors open, because if we don't and they lose these places, a lot of them end up getting demolished and destroyed.
Yep.
So
And for those of you who follow such things, such as the Calumet Inn in Pipestone, Minnesota, currently is closed. I don't know if it's going to reopen. I don't know what's going to happen to that place. I've investigated there so many times. Tammy, the owner, is one of the nicest people I've ever, experienced. My cat's licking a bag. So if that's what you're hearing right now, it's not paranormal, it's Paralinus. And that's the thing about these places is that, I know it's tough, but everyone needs to do something. But also, that's one of the tickets we're giving away for that July 9th for the villa.
July
8th.
yes.
Damn it. Damn it.
I
So
wanted to see Christina Robinson. Where in the East do you live? see, give her a minute to answer. She
Sure.
said come to the east, so I'm curious where she is because I know that we've had some stuff going on out there, but then I got
Hmm.
sick and I had to kind of stop a bunch of stuff. So, um,
And
yeah,
we've been talking about that too.
yes. So, what's the other event that we're doing? Why do I feel like we're missing something?
We're doing another event.
I, I don't know what's going on.
There's been a couple, and Christine's out in Delaware. There's been a couple that we have been talking with people about, and we just there's stuff that they know that we can't really say yet because it's still kind of moving. But if there's something else, I've completely forgotten
No,
what it
there,
was.
there. I just have a lot of stuff going on. That's what I was looking at. So, sorry. We'll have more coming though. I think I was thinking about Octagon Mansion, but that's the one we had to cancel.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
yes, so I do feel really bad about that. But unfortunately, I didn't know if I was even going to be able to not leave here, or if I was going to be able to leave here or not. So um, luckily, everything's good. So life is normal
Yep.
for the most
It's
part.
it's very good. I'm happy to
So
hear that. Yeah, and hopefully Calumet opens. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot going on, but we really wanted to just do just kind of a run through of everything, and also give people the opportunity to win a ticket to the overnight for July 8th at the McIntyre Villa.
And if you buy a ticket and you win, I'll just refund your money, just FYI, because it's going to
Right.
take a couple days, I think, for us to figure out,
Absolutely.
everybody's names, and I think we'll just pull out of a hat or something.
Or you
Or
buy the ticket and you can give that to your friend, and so you go with somebody.
it's a good
So
idea.
that's a possibility too. And then let's see, I was going to say something, totally forgot. That's okay, no biggie. But also we're also giving away two $15 gift certificates to Charvinity, and Charvinity, Char Savoy. She is a wonderful person, a great medium, psychic medium, and they can be used on a number of things. You can go to charvinity.com. Even if you don't win tickets, please go to charvinity.com. Support her as well, because she does a lot for the community, and she has a live on things and MN Ghostbox and Free Spirited. She has a live on there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely please check that out. She does one question readings on there as well. So what do you think?
I think that's a wrap.
I think it's a wrap. We got a lot more coming up, and then we're going to announce when we're going to do Paranormal Reveal. We're going to announce when we do the next Living Paranormal together in July. And please reach out to either of us if you have questions about the event that we're doing, or and reach out to Christie for all the events that she has going on. I mean, it sounds weird, but you have to have people going to them for them to keep going. So, please consider, we know that it's tough. But it's also a great way to get away from it all. And that's what these are. And they're great locations. So,
Yeah. You have a good night too. I see everybody. Awesome. Yeah. So that's about does it.
so thank you all very much. Don't forget to join me, please, Saturday night for Living Paranormal at the Grant House, and also Ghostbox Live Sunday, where we're going to reach out to loved ones again. So, is there anything that
Oh,
you have?
love you too, Greg. What?
Do you have anything that you are doing this week that you want to push?
This week I'm honestly just I got the garage sale going on, so I won't be doing any. I'm doing that. And then I'm going to be spending time with a friend of mine out in Missouri. So I probably won't be seen very much. But unless Stephanie and I do something stupid, then it'll be all over Facebook. So you'll see us being stupid on
Yep,
Facebook.
look forward to that.
Yeah.
So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We really appreciate it. Christy, thank you very much.
And thank you too.
And we'll
Thanks
call
for
it a
your
night.
listening. Yes.
All right, take care, everyone. Good night.
Bye.